Okay. So now after read one, when it is matches, how to continue with the pop. Okay, so यहाँ पे अपना stack still contain closing s. After reading this opening bracket, your input pointer moves to the next input symbol. Okay. After read one, my next section is what? Again pop. After read pop, this pop will pop the top stack symbol, that is now S. When the pop symbol is a non-terminal, then you have to apply the rule, that is left move to the leftmost direction. One of the rule you have to apply. Now, when the pop symbol is S, out of the three rules, which rule you are going to apply? Now, check your leftmost derivation. यहाँ तक हमने what we have completed? Rule number 2 we have completed. Now we have matched this opening with our input opening. Okay. What is the next step now? Now the pop symbol is S. So which rule is to be applied? So for this, here you can see. So this is important. That is rule number 2 ke baad. Which rule you have to apply? Rule number 1. Okay. So what is our rule number 1? This is what? This part how to follow the rule number 1. So we'll push to S. This is our first action. After that, push 3S and then continue. That is with the pop action. Okay. So after this pop S, next action is what? Push to S. When you push, that is pushed onto the top of the stack. Input still हमने only this is match. After push to S, we according to our rule, we have to push what? The next S. So SS is there on the top of the stack. After push 3S, what is the action? Pop. So this pop will pop what? S from the stack. Which rule is to be applied? Now the pop symbol is S. So this is pop from the stack in this step. Input still pointing to the second symbol. Okay. Now the pop symbol is a non-terminal. Which rule you have to apply? Which rule you have to apply? Take again the leftmost derivation. Which rule we have applied? Rule number 3 is what we have to do now? Rule number 3 is what? Push 7, closing. In the reverse way, we are pushing the production. So first we'll push closing and then we'll push the opening. Okay. So let's continue. So I'll write again here. Pop. Pop के बाद अपना क्या आया था? S. I am writing this again just to continue. एक minute. Okay. So closing S, opening. Okay. So push to S. So this will push. What this will push? S. एक minute, something wrong. Rule number 3, no? Okay, so after pop, we have 7 closing bracket. So we'll get on the stack blank closing S. Again, I will get the closing, no? Yeah. After push. Okay. Then push 8 opening. Push 8 opening. So we'll get blank closing S this way. Stack content. Okay. After that, we know we are continuing with the pop action. Now the pop symbol is what? What is the pop symbol? Pop will pop the top stack symbol. The pop symbol is now opening bracket. So stack पे क्या आएंगे? Blank closing S closing. And we know that when the pop symbol is a terminal, then we are going to perform the read action. There are read 1 and read 2. For the opening, we are performing read 1. So read 1 will read the next input symbol. What is the input symbol now? Opening is read. Stack is same. After reading opening, your input pointer moves ahead. All of you continue this. Continue doing this. After this read one opening, next you are continuing with the pop. So pop will pop now the closing bracket. When the pop symbol is a terminal, you have to perform next action, that is what? A read action, and check whether read and the pop symbol is same or not. So after the pop closing, you have to perform what is the action, that is read to here. Okay, so closing, then perform read action. Read to is reading or matching for the closing bracket. Okay, so pop and read symbol both are same. So after reading, move ahead by one character. Okay. So after reading, next your action is what? Pop. So the pop will pop the now S. So on the stack, what is there? Closing bracket only after popping. So what is the action now? When the pop the non-terminal, which rule now you will apply? Which rule is to be applied now? डेरिवेशन में देखो कौन कौन से रूल अप्लाई हुए. रूल नंबर 2 हमने अप्लाई किया, रूल नंबर 1 अप्लाई किया, लास्ट में हमने कौन सा रूल अप्लाई किया है? Which rule is to be applied, whether to follow this path, second path or the third path? So that your input is match. लेफ्ट मोस्ट डेरिवेशन में देखो क्या अप्लाई किया हमने. या डेरिवेशन में हमने ऑलरेडी किया है ना. ऑल ऑफ यू चेक दैट ओनली आई एम फॉलोइंग. ओनली थिंग स्पेसिफिक वी आर राइटिंग द एक्शन. लास्ट में हमने रूल नंबर 3 अप्लाई किया था. ओके, so rule number 3 is what? This is what you have to, this path you have to follow. Push 7 closing and then push 8 open. Okay, so after pop, next my action is what? Push 7 closing. So it will push and stack will continue to keep the track of input and stack curly, otherwise it will not give you the correct answer. Okay, so stack पे अभी 2 closing bracket है. After push 6, next my action is what? Push 8 opening. So it will push now closing, close, opening. Okay, so then after push 8, we know the next action is what? Now continuing with the pop. So pop will pop now the opening bracket from the stack. So stack will contain only 2 closing now. What is my next action now? Pop opening के बाद what is the next action? What is the next action? Refer this diagram. Pop opening, what is the next action? Read one, yeah. There is only this path, no? Pop के बाद opening pop हो गया, then okay. So read one is reading, opening. So after read, this pointer will point to the closing. After read, we are continuing with the pop, and now the pop will pop the closing bracket. You can see closing is on the stack. After closing is pop, what is my action? Closing के लिए there is a read to state which reads the next symbol and it checks whether the input read is also closing bracket. Okay, so यहाँ पे अपना था ना. So after read to, it will point to the next. After read to, next is what? Pop. So pop will pop the closing bracket from the stack. Now here you can see your stack is empty. Then after pop closing, your action is read to, and read to will read what? Closing. So after read to closing, your input pointer points to blank character. Here you can see. Then your next action is what? After read, we know the next action is what? Pop. So what the pop will pop? As the stack is empty, pop will pop the blank character. So this is dash. And input, here you can see input pointer is pointing here. After the pop blank, we know the next action is what? Read 3. Okay, because it is matching for blank and blank. Whether the stack is also empty and input is also ended, then in that case only it is accepted. In this case, if there is an extra right parenthesis, then read 3 will not read the blank, but it will be closing, and we have not shown the edges because those are the reject state. Okay, so in this case, after pop, it is a read 3, and read 3 will also read the blank. Okay, and once it is read the blank, what is the action? Because stack is also empty, your input is also ended. Okay, so this is how for the grammar you design it. Is it clear? Want to simulate one more problem? I think you can do it, no? For a second problem, we'll see. Is this clear what we did? So that will take next problem of the context-free grammar. Problem clear. Simulation clear. So I'll take the next problem. Yes, is it clear? Or you want to simulate? I will take next problem. What simulation or this diagram? What should I repeat? Or this algorithm? Rohan, what should I repeat? Simulation for the second problem we'll take. Is it okay? See again, in short, I'll explain. Given the grammar, free grammar. Okay. So what we have to do, push the start symbol onto the stack. Then your next after first push one S will be there. Where if your S is a start symbol, after that you will pop that start symbol and you have to push the right hand side. So there will be 3 edges, means 3 outgoing edges means you are actually applying the leftmost derivation. So push this one path will push this first product in the reverse way. Second path will push this again in the reverse way. Reverse way means first it will push closing, then S, and then opening. Here also the third push closing and then push opening. So once that is done, if the pop symbol is a terminal, you will read the input symbol from the input tab and check whether it matches the pop symbol. If it matches, then you continue the process. Continue means what? Continue with the pop till the entire string is consumed. Now, if the pop symbol is a blank, that indicates what? The stack is empty. Then you will also check whether input is ended and then accept it. Okay. So this is what our design. First we push the start symbol, then to the pop. So after popping for the S, there will be 3 paths as there are 3 productions rules for the S. Then one by one, at a time, you can push only one symbol. So our production was S derives SS. This was. So what we did, we first push in the reverse way. So in the reverse way, it is SS only. So we have given the push to S, push 3, S, and then it did with the pop. Second production ke liye, our rule was opening, S, closing. So first we push closing, then S, and then opening, and then with the pop. This is what third rule. First we push the closing and then opening. Then after popping, you also will also get no opening and closing because you have pushed here this to terminal. So if the pop symbol, you are matching that with the input. So here the read one is performed. So this read one, it will read the input symbol and will move the head pointer ahead to the next input symbol. And if both are same, then continue with the popping. Okay. And if the pop symbol is opening and if the read one reads closing, that edge we have not shown what it is rejected. So rejected edges are not shown in this diagram. If the pop symbol is a closing, then read will match for the closing. In the read 2, if you get the opening or the blank, meaning it is rejected. Similarly, if your stack and if your input also ends, they accepted. In other cases, it is rejected. Okay, so rejected actions are not shown, meaning is what? Not shown means it is rejected. If you reach only to this accept path, then only it is accepted. Otherwise, it is rejected. Okay. So we'll take the second example, and for that example, then we'll also explain the simulation. So what I told on the input string, first you drive it in leftmost derivation so that you will get the order in which you have to apply the production rules. Because in NPDA we have seen for the same input there can be multiple ways, like here for the S, this is a one path, another, and this is a third path. So how to know that which path is to be followed if the pop symbol is a S? And for us here we have used the derivation so that we can get the idea. Okay, first which rule, once the pop symbol is S, which rule is to be applied? That is the rule number 2. So यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? Then stack के लिए this is push in the reverse way. So first closing is push, then S is push, and then opening is push. Next time, whenever the S is pop, the rule number 1 is applied. Here you can see that is what we have shown here. No, first we push the start symbol. Push के बाद, push 1 के बाद our next action is pop. So pop symbol is S. And here we know that we have to apply the rule number 2. So rule number 2 के लिए हमने यहाँ पे, here you can see push, closing is push, then S, and then opening. And after this rule, so this is our rule number 2, next action is a pop. Now the pop symbol is what? It will always pop the top stack symbol. Pop will pop here, opening. And once opening is, you're not showing that. No, this is pop. Okay. So this is pop from the stack. Input is still this. And after the pop, if the pop symbol is a terminal, we know we have to match it with the input. So we read the input symbol. Now here the input read is also what? The opening bracket. Read के बाद आपको input pointer one symbol से you have to move it ahead. Okay. Now you can see pop and this, both symbols are matching. So after the read one, again you are continuing. The next action is pop. So pop will pop now here what? The top stack symbol, and that is a S here. So S is pop from here. So S pop होने के बाद stack पे क्या है? Blank and the closing bracket. Input आपका यहाँ पे है opening पे. After this pop S, when the pop symbol is a non-terminal, you have to apply the rule. अभी हमारा rule number 2 apply होके गया. Next, which rule we have to apply? Rule number 1. So यहाँ पे हमने rule number 1 apply किया. Here you can see rule number 1 is applied. यहाँ पे rule number 2 was applied. And this way we continued. And finally our input is matched and stack is also empty. Input also points to the blank character. So we accepted it. Okay. So I'll give you one more problem. Let us take the simple one. Now here you can see if I give you opening, what? This is my input. यहाँ पे action क्या होना चाहिए? What should be the action? ये तो आप derive नहीं कर सकते हो. Let us try. What should be your action? Make the 3 columns. Let us derive it directly or simulate it. Current state, stack contents, and the tape and the head position. See. So what is our input? Opening. कहाँ पे reject होगा ये? Will tell me where it will get rejected? Start के बाद our next action is always what? Push the start symbol. Push the symbol is what? Our action? Push 1 S. And this what? It will push S onto the top of the stack. Input pointer जब हम read करेंगे then only we'll move the input pointer ahead. Now after push one start symbol push करने के बाद what is our next action? Pop. Pop will pop what? Top stack symbol. So now the stack is empty. Which rule you apply now? Rule number 1 or 2? So that will follow that path. Rule number 1 or 2. कौन सा apply करना है? Okay. The students also reply. Rule number 1 to 3. 1, 2, which path is to be followed? So that ये तो correct string नहीं है. This will finally get rejected. But right now, which rule is to be applied? Rule number 3 से होगा. साक्षी try करो. Let me apply rule number 2. So rule number 2 means I have to perform what? Push 4, push 5, push 6, 3 steps one by one. So after pop will perform push 4 closing. So this will push closing. Next step will perform push 5 S. So it is blank closing S. Then push 6 opening. Okay. After this, what is your next action? Pop. So pop will pop opening bracket from the stack. We'll get S. Opening pop करने के बाद read तो pointer यहाँ पे ही है अपना still. Your action is what? Read. Read 1 will read the opening bracket and move the input pointer ahead. In opening is matched now. Actually applying the leftmost derivation, you can see here. You are matching your input from left to right. Okay, so after read 1, my next action is pop and this pop will pop S. Now, what is to be push? What is your rule is to be applied now? Pop symbol is a S. So which rule is to be applied? Yes, grammar में हो गया अपना derivation, how to derive. So which rule is to be applied? Rule number 3. Let us check. Rule number 3 में हम क्या कर रहे हैं? Closing and opening. So rule number 3, push 7 closing. So push 7 closing will push. Then push 8 opening. Then pop. The pop is what? Opening. So opening pop किया तो stack पे आपके क्या रहेगा? Closing closing. So now your opening के बाद your action is what? Read 1. Read 1 will read what? Opening bracket. So you can see opening is match and your input is to the head. After read 1, what is the next step? Read 1 के बाद next step is what? You are always pop. And this pop will pop now what? Which symbol? At a time, pop will pop only one symbol and that is the symbol at the top of the stack. So now this is pop. After pop closing, what is my next action? Read 2. So read 2 will read now what? Read 2 कहाँ पे point कर रहा है? Currently closing को. So read 2 will read what? Closing bracket. So you can see closing match and input pointer points to the next character. After read to, what is my next step? Pop. So what is the pop symbol now? रीड टू के बाद पॉप कर रहे, स्टैक पे अभी क्या है, स्टैक टॉप पे क्लोजिंग है. सो व्हाट इज द पॉप सिंबल? सिंबल कौन सा पॉप हो जाएगा अभी? Closing parenthesis, no? Okay. So this will pop what? This. And what happens now? Sorry. After pop closing, what is the next action? Read to. What read to will read now? Read to कहाँ पे point कर रहा है अभी? यहाँ पे point कर रहा है blank को ना. So read to क्या read करेगा? Is there any outgoing edge from the read to for the blank character? Is there any outgoing edges? No. Finally, this is right. So in this case, you can see your stack is not empty. The input is ended. So it is rejected because what is missing in the opening is missing. Sorry, closing is missing. So that's why here in the read to, it is read. So in the read to, what we have seen, stack pop symbol is closing, but read is reading blank. There is no closing bracket. There is a missing closing bracket. So it is a reject the read to state. Okay. If there is a extra opening bracket, if there is a extra closing and opening is missing, in that case it will be rejected in this read one state. Okay. So this is how we'll do. We'll take next problem in which we'll also consider context free grammar. Let us design. So what is our action? So first you have to push the start symbol onto the top of the stack. Then the next action initially, then pop will pop start symbol. Then you have to push the right hand sides of that start symbol. For each right hand side, there will be one path which will push the right hand side in the reverse way. Okay. Then after popping, if you get terminal, then you have to read it from the input string and check whether the pop symbol and the read symbol both are same. If same, then continue with the otherwise it is rejected. Okay. Now for the next example, you are going to tell me what is to be done. First tell me what kind of strings will be generated using this. Can I generate plus 4 star 4? Means what? Here your operand is always a 4 because we have taken only, because any number we have not taken, and the operators we have considered here are plus and the star. Okay. So it is a string which consists of operand as a 4 and operator can be binary operator can be for multiplication. Okay. So now algorithm, I'll not explain now algorithm, will directly draw the flow chart, you know. So what is my first step is a start. Next will tell me what is the next algorithm. Remember number of times we have repeated now. After the start, what is the next step? What is your start symbol in this case? Start symbol may be different. So depend on what grammar you have given. Okay. So after the start, what is next step? What is the next state? Next step क्या करना है मुझे? Read करना है, push करना है, pop करना है. What is it? You will push the start symbol. Okay. And as there can be more than one push action, so let us write here what? Push 1 S. You will push after the start. Your next step is what? Push the start symbol on the top of the stack. After that, what I told next action is pop. So what is S के कितने parts है? When you pop S, there will be 3 parts, no? Because there are 3 right hand side. So here I'll tell the reason why I have shown here. Okay, there are 3 parts, no? One for what? S plus S, another is S star S, and the third is 4. Now who will tell me? Let the first path is this. What is your right hand side here? S plus S. How many push actions will be there on this path, and what are those? At a time you can push one symbol. So what is my action here? Do it fast. Tell me fast in the chat. No, now what is to be done? Okay. Okay, so first ये reverse किया तो same ही आएगा. Yeah, reversing this. So you have to reverse this. So after reversing, you will get only plus S only. So at a time, we'll push one symbol. Right here, let push S. Correct. Then 3 plus. Next is what? Push 4 plus. Yeah. After this, you have to continue with the pop action. So I am connecting this here to this edge. So after this, your next action is pop. ये हो गया अपना S plus S. So we completed push 1, 2, 3, 4. यहाँ पे क्या आएगा अभी? Now you know what is to be done. For the second production, reverse it. In this case, reversing will give the same. In earlier case, it was different, we know. S star S. Yeah, correct. Push 4 तक complete किया ना हमने, तो 5, 7 आएंगे, and at a time it will push one symbol. Okay, so right here push 5 S, then push 6 star 7 S, and we'll connect this two. So that your next step is what? Again pop. So we completed this 2. Now S gives 4. See, whenever there is a production of the form A gives A, that is terminal. Okay, so यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि if I push 4 and the pop will pop 4, so why to push terminal? So you directly read it from the input and check whether the input read is 4. Okay, so for the third case, instead of pushing 4 and again popping it, instead of repeating that action, I can directly write here read. Let it is read 1. Okay, and let this read 1 reads the 4. So we are applying the production here. S gives 4. Okay, so whenever this type A gives terminal is there, what I am saying, you directly read it from input and check whether it is that terminal. In this case, the terminal is 4. So for the third, we are directly matching it with the input. And if the input read is 4, then you continue with the pop. So we push 4. Okay. What is remaining terminals now? Plus and star. So this after popping will also get the plus star. Like in earlier case, we have used one read action. So here it is, let read 2 already completed. What you have to check whether the read symbol is also a plus now in this case. Plus के लिए input plus ही आना चाहिए ना. And after that you will connect it to the pop. Similarly, star K, read 3. Then you will match that with the input, whether the input is also star, then continue with the pop. Then after popping, if you get the blank character, my next action here is what? Read 4. And read 4, if it reads the blank, then only accept. Remaining all cases, it is rejected. Is the problem clear? The other way also you could have done, that is for the S. Your action will be what? Push 4. Then after popping here, there will be the outgoing edge for the 4 and then you will read the 4. I have avoided this pushing and popping again. Is it clear? Is this is clear what we did? We'll take the example then. Yes. Whether all steps are clear? So can I take the string 4 plus 4 star 4? So what is our case? So first we derive it using the leftmost derivation. First tell me whether this string is derivable using this or not. Apply the leftmost derivation. Which rule you will apply? Which rule? Rule number 1. See, we know that this is ambiguous. So you may start with S plus S or you may start with S star S. Still you can derive 4 plus 4 star 4. Okay, but we know how to remove the ambiguity using the associativity and the precedences rule. So that's why I am here first the S derives plus S. That is correct. So first the rule number 1 is applied. Next step, which rule is to be applied? लेफ्टमोस्ट डेरिवेशन है. सो हाउ? रूल नंबर 2 कैसे आएगा? रूल नंबर 3 नॉट S derives 4. See, that's what we are going here. Okay, so first we'll push the S. Whenever the pop symbol is S, we'll apply the rule number 1. Rule number 1 means what? This path will follow. Okay, after that, if the pop symbol will be S only, we'll read. Read means what? We'll also check whether the input is 4. So that's why we did here. Derives 4. S derives 4. See? Okay, so S derives is what? Our rule number 3 is applied here. We'll get 4 plus S after applying rule number 3. Now, leftmost derivation only S remains. So we know what to apply. What is the rule that you will apply now for this S? So after that, when the pop symbol is S, we want multiplication. So we'll follow this path. We'll push star S. So we get S star S. Rule number 2. Then leftmost derivation hai. Yeah. So for this S now, we'll apply the which rule? Rule number 3. So rule number 3 is applied. And then finally also the rule number 3 is applied, that derives 4. And then our string is derived. Okay. So let us simulate the same way. Make the 3 columns. In this order, you will apply the rules whenever you have to follow this path. And there you follow the rules. Okay. So make the 3 columns. So we need this. So I'll just write the rule number 1. उसके बाद हमने apply किया है. Then 2, then 3, and then 3. Okay. So we need this diagram, no? So the 3 columns. So this one. चलो solve fast. Current state, stand tense, And third is what? Tape and head position. Input is 4 plus 4 star blank blank, remaining character blank, initial stack is blank. Chalo fast. After start, what is your next state? Initially, your all start के बाद your next step will be always push one start symbol. In the same line, you show the stack contents as a. Why I'm showing this? This is bounded at this end, and you can always access the top symbol. Input pointer, जब आप read करोगे, then only you move ahead other. Initially, it is pointing to the first. Push one के बाद, what is my next step? Pop. Pop will pop which symbol? स्टैक कैसे वर्क होता है ये आपको समझ में आएगा. तो सो दिस इज वेरी सिंपल. ये स्टैक का ही एप्लीकेशन है. डेटा स्ट्रक्चर स्टैक यू हैव स्टडीड एंड दिस इज एप्लीकेशन ऑफ स्टैक. पॉप के बाद कौन सा सिंबल आएगा? पॉप के बाद कौन सा सिंबल आएगा? लेट अस फिनिश दिस आल्सो. नेक्स्ट लेक्चर इज देयर नो. पॉप के बाद पहले यस दिखाओ ना. देन तो स्टैक इज एम्प्टी. यस तो पॉप हो गया. इनपुट स्टिल आपका किसको पॉइंट कर रहा है? 4 को. आफ्टर पॉप नाउ वी हैव रिटर्न हियर ऑर्डर. कौन सा रूल हमें अप्लाई करना है? रूल नंबर 1. रूल नंबर मीन्स व्हाट? फॉर दिस एस वी हैव टू फॉलो दिस पाथ. ये पाथ फॉलो करना है मीन्स कितने सिंबल पुश हो जाएंगे स्टैक पे? पहले एस जाएगा प्लस एंड देन दिस एस. सो विल राइट वन बाय वन एक्शन. पुश टू एस. सो दिस विल एस इनपुट एज इट इज. विल नॉट राइट 3 प्लस. सो अभी कौन सा जाएगा स्टैक पे? प्लस देन पुश 4 एस. सो अभी स्टैक पे आ गया s plus s. You can see what we did. We apply the rule number 1. Yeah, input वैसे ही है pointer. इसके बाद कहाँ पे जा रहे हैं? pop action. So pop will pop the top stack symbol, that is s. So अभी stack पे क्या रह जाएगा? s plus. Now कौन सा रूल अप्लाई किया हमने? देखो आफ्टर 1 विच रूल वी हैव अप्लाइड? रूल नंबर 3. सो रूल नंबर 3 के लिए हमने क्या किया है? देखो पॉप एस. उसके बाद नेक्स्ट एक्शन क्या है? नेक्स्ट एक्शन क्या है? रीड 1. करेक्ट. सो रीड 1 क्या करेगा? कौन सा सिंबल रीड करेगा? 4. सो रीड 1 ने 4 रीड की. मीनिंग वी अप्लाइड द रूल नंबर 3 एस डिराइव्स 4. सो एक बार हमने रीड किया तो इनपुट पॉइंटर नेक्स्ट सिंबल को पॉइंट करेगा, दैट इज प्लस. रीड 1 के बाद नेक्स्ट एक्शन इज व्हाट? पॉप. अभी पॉप कौन सा सिंबल करेगा? विच सिंबल विल बी पॉप नाउ? या टॉप जो सिंबल है दैट इज प्लस. सो प्लस पॉप हो गया एंड देन स्टैक पे अभी क्या रह गया? ओनली एस. And if a pop symbol is plus, what is our action? Read 2. Read 2 क्या कर रहा है? Read 2 is reading the next symbol. Okay. So pop के बाद my action is what? Read 2. And read 2 अभी कौन सा read करेगा? Plus वाला. Stack पे इस step में as it is आएगा. But after reading plus, your pointer is pointing to the 4 now. आफ्टर रीड 2 व्हाट इज माय नेक्स्ट स्टेप? रीड 2 के बाद हम पॉप को ही जा रहे हैं. सो पॉप एंड दिस पॉप विल पॉप नाउ द स्टैक टॉप सिंबल एस. इनपुट अभी अपना कहाँ पे है? 4 स्टार 4 पे ही है. 4 पे है. ओके. नाउ विच रूल इज टू बी अप्लाइड? सी अभी अपने कितने रूल अप्लाई हो गए? रूल नंबर 1 अप्लाई किया, रूल नंबर 3 अप्लाई किया. विच रूल इज टू बी अप्लाइड नाउ? यू कैन सी कौन सा रूल अप्लाई कर रहे हैं हम लोग? रूल नंबर 2. सो रूल नंबर 2 मीन्स कौन सा एक्शन आएंगे मेरे? ये वाले पुष्पा 6 7, दैट इज एस स्टार एस इज पुश ऑन द स्टैक नाउ. ओके. सो इसके बाद आप पुश 5 एस one by one you can write push 6 star, then push 7 S. सो स्टैक पे अभी स्टेप बाय स्टेप कंटेंट दिखाओ. यहाँ पे एस पुश हो गया, इस स्टेप में स्टार पुश है, एंड इस स्टेप में एस पुश हो गया. इनपुट अपना 4 को. व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट स्टेप नाउ? पॉप. सो पॉप विल पॉप नाउ एस. यहाँ पे कौन सा रूल अप्लाई करना है अभी? विच रूल? एस हो गया, देन which rule is to be applied now? रूल नंबर 2 अप्लाई. कौन सा रूल अप्लाई करना है अभी? यहाँ पे दिया है, दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट कि डेरिवेशन आपने किया तो विल अंडरस्टैंड. रूल नंबर 3. रूल नंबर 3 मीन्स कहाँ पे है हम लोग अभी? रूल नंबर 3 मीन्स यहाँ पे रीड करना है ना. सो रीड 1. सो रीड 1 यहाँ पे कौन सा रीड करेगा? 4. स्टैक तो ऐसे ही है. 4 रीड करने के बाद पॉइंटर स्टार को जाएगा. आफ्टर रीड 1 my next step is pop. Now the pop will pop the star and stack पे क्या रह जाएगा? S only. Blank. What is my next step? Pop star के बाद read 2 no या read 3? स्टार पॉप करने के बाद तो read 3 है. So read 3 will read the star. स्टार रीड के बाद इनपुट पॉइंटर स्टार से आगे जाएगा, दैट इज पॉइंट टू द नाउ 4. नेक्स्ट स्टेप बोलो. रीड 3 के बाद हम कहाँ पे है अभी? पॉप पे आएंगे. स्टैक पे क्या था रे? जस्ट स्टैक एस है ना. नो, एस तो पॉप हो जाएगा. इनपुट कहाँ पे है? 4 + 4 4. इस 4 को पॉइंट कर रहे हैं अभी. ओके. विच रूल अप्लाइड नाउ? विच हैज व्हाट हैज रिमेन नाउ? रूल नंबर 3. फाइनली विल अप्लाई द रूल नंबर 3. रूल नंबर 3 मीन्स पॉप एस के बाद माय नेक्स्ट एक्शन इज व्हाट? रीड 1. रीड 1 विल रीड नाउ 4. स्टैक तो यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी एम्प्टी हो गया. रीड 1 ने रीड 4 किया तो आपका एंटर ब्लैंक पे जाएगा. उसके बाद रीड 1 के बाद अवर एक्शन इज पॉप. स्टैक पे तो अभी कुछ नहीं रहेगा. पॉप विल पॉप द ब्लैंक कैरेक्टर. एंड उसके बाद मैं क्या करना है? पॉप करने के बाद ब्लैंक आया तो आपका एक्शन क्या है? रीड 4. रीड 4 क्या कर रहा है अभी? रीड 4 विल रीड द ब्लैंक कैरेक्टर एंड फाइनली योर एक्शन इज एक्सेप्ट. So this completes. Yes. So you take some problems for the homework. 4 star 4. ये एक ले लो. सेकेंड वाला 4 + 4 + 4. Can you do it? Can you do it? सॉल्व कर सकते हो क्या? कंटेक्स्ट फ्री ग्रामर ये समझ में आया नहीं? पहले मुझे बोलो व्हाट वी डिड. तो फिर तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है कि कैन सी टर्मिनल्स ऑल्सो गेट पुश नो. प्लस एंड स्टार 4 को तो हमने अवॉइड किया बट प्लस एंड स्टार गेट पुश. ओके. सो we don't want to terminals to be pushed onto the stack. This time what we'll do, we'll convert our grammar to the CNF form. Okay. And in CNF we know that there are 2 types of production rules are allowed. What are? There are 2 of productions are allowed in the CNF. We have seen different ways to represent the grammar, CNF and the GNF. CNF में which type of rules are? देखते हैं किसको याद है. Chomsky normal form. CNF stands for what? Chomsky normal form. So types of rules are allowed in CNF.